Rebekah, hi. Thank you for coming onto our episode of Quick Sips for Spilling the Teeth. It's really great to have you on. Really great to have Teath Club on in general as well. Could you give us a bit of an intro about yourself and who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on, Alan. Really excited. So I'm Rebecca. I am the Director of Strategy and PR here at Teath Club. So I look after all things marketing, branding, and any strategic initiatives that we are implementing. A little bit about Tooth Club. We are a very fast-paced growing business. We opened practice number one in 2020, and we're just on build for practice 18, which is really, really exciting.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, yeah, the Tooth Club story is incredible. From starting not really that long ago to being one of the biggest names in dentistry. I think that's so fantastic, and clearly from some of the great work that you've been doing on the marketing and PR side. And actually, when we talk about that, what we notice about Tooth Club and what everyone will notice about Tooth Club is your great social presence. So I really want to sort of dive into that in this episode of Quick Sips and talk about things like, TikTok and Instagram Reels and things like that. Why was that your priority when sort of building this brand?
No one else is doing it. No
Mm.
one else in the industry is doing it. And look, I mean, my screen time alone is embarrassingly high. Like I get down a TikTok hole. Everyone is on TikTok. Everyone is on Instagram. I think my screen time is like averaging like 3 hours a day, which is just crazy, right? And if I ask you to do yours as well now, Alan, like it's scary.
We won't be doing
Everyone,
mine.
everyone is on their phones. Like we are, they're glued to us, right? So
Mhm.
that is where we need to be. We need to have a presence. Everyone doom scrolls, as I call it. We may be a 10-second part of that 40-minute doom scroll, and we have to have a presence. We have to be there. You know, um, Google reviews, Trustpilot reviews are, paramount to any business. But these days, if I'm going to a hotel or I'm going to a beauty clinic, I'm going on TikTok. I want to understand, like, I want to see people's come to, a hotel with me. I want to see it in the flesh, in real life, via the phone rather than reading a review. Um,
Mm,
it's organic, right? It's real. And we have to, it's not changing. We
mm.
have to have a presence on social media. And for us, TikTok and Instagram Reels is what works. You know, um, FAQs in any appointments, we are pulling those and turn them into content. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. I mean, like you say, no one is doing it, and I think it really sort of shows the human element of dentistry very, very well. And in that short form sort of content, I don't have to invest all that time scrolling through reviews to find the real human element of I was offered a glass of water at the door. I came away with a smile. I wasn't scared. That kind of stuff.
Mhm.
It
And people
definitely
want to be
helps.
prepared, right? They want to know what to expect. They want to know you go through this door, you sit here, that. I mean, the stats of nervous patients is just crazy. If we can do anything to, help that before you've even got to you've even got to the practice, you can see a face of someone on reception. Oh, that girl looks nice. Or, okay, so I sit there, and it's that element as well, which I think really helps prepare a nervous patient, um, understanding what to expect, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think as well, like with the Tooth Club content, we know it gets, it's very viral in the world of dentistry, and
Yeah.
and people love it. But what for you is the difference between a piece of content that gets loads of likes and a piece of content that gets patience?
So reactive marketing is something that is um is part of our strategy. So we have to be on it. What's trending at 10 o'clock in the morning might not necessarily be trending at 10 o'clock at night.
Mm,
So we our marketing strategy is very reactive in terms of what gets patients and what gets views. Very similar.
mm,
We before and afters, people having that wow factor, because proof is in the pudding, right? You can see the before, you can see it the after. the smile reveals do really well. So the reaction videos, um, influencers, we have, probably the whole of Towie cast as cast as patients. That really supports as well, but and me and my I have the best team that work alongside me, and obviously Kanal as well as the leader, fantastic. And we all say the same. We can prep these big campaigns, which we do on every month we have a different theme. We can prep these massive campaigns and put lots of work behind the scenes to get them to edit, and yet the 20-second off the cuff before and after or smile reveal or just something really, off the cuff does better than something that you've
Yeah.
spent hours editing. Um, but the views are, the organic people can relate. You get a lot more views when people can relate to it. So you'll probably see in our social media, sometimes we go off, we do what's trending, the reactive marketing, the funny TikTok dances, the trends, and that builds up the following, which then you get leads from eventually. But in terms of the actual bookings, it tends to be influencers that have come in, organic patients that have done TikToks and before and after since smile reveals.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And that sort of that led on to my question around sort of how do you choose content that resonates well. But from what I'm hearing, it's a level of virality, but
Yeah.
like also a level of being able to resonate with that media as well as a patient.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
absolutely. And
sure.
also what's trending at the moment, pop culture. Me and my team are on, Daily Mail online every day, seeing what's going on. Example, Bake Off launched last week. So we did a little Bake Off cameo. That got really good. We've done some couple karaoke type style content recently. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be the before and afters. You're building up a brand, a presence online. And as I said earlier, having that 10 seconds, from someone scrolling, um, yeah, we gain followers through that as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I totally agree. I think it's showing the practice as a place for humans to go, and not just a place where dentistry happens. I totally
Absolutely.
agree.
Absolutely.
Um, if you were advising dental clinic who's starting from scratch, which most
Yeah.
people are, as we talked about, they've not done social media, or if they have, it's our
Mhm.
opening hours are 9 till 5, something like
Yeah. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
What would be your first three content ideas to post? So start from scratch. You had to post 3 videos or 3 pieces of content. What do you reckon you would be doing?
So prior to that, it's all about getting the team involved. A lot of the team don't want to be on camera, and that's fine. And I think it's, you have to lead from example. So get involved, and it doesn't have to be a super polished, full lighting, mics, everything. It can just be something so simple. So um a day in the life, they work really well. People are nosy. They want to know what goes on. They work really well. And it doesn't have to be a big edited, polished 3-minute video. You can take pictures and put something behind it that works well. Smile reveals. Smile reveals. Everyone wants to see the before and afters,
Mm.
and also what goes into that. So step one, step two, step three. And actually, if you film something a bit longer, what also works is, um, this is part one, come back for part two. That's really great as well to get that
Yeah.
traction. Um, and then meeting the team. As a nervous patient myself, I want to know who I'm going to say hi, who's going to greet me, who my dental nurse is, who my dentist is, putting a face to the name. I know I've got an appointment with Dr. Smith tomorrow, but what does Dr. Smith look like, and meet the team? That's great. It's that human element. It becomes, you know, uh, it reduces anxiety and nervousness around coming if you know what to expect. It's the unexpected that patients are feeling nervous about. So you can reduce that very easily in a 20-second reel and go around to your team. And it's fun, making it fun. It doesn't have to be a really nerve-wracking thing to do.
Totally. And when we talk about sort of encouraging those dental teams to be comfortable, to be authentic, to be themselves, Is that kind of your top tip? Is like get involved yourself, show that you can make mistakes, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. It doesn't, it's free to post, right? It doesn't cost anything. Okay, a little bit of time, bit of editing sometimes, but it's free. If you're not out there, and your your opposition will be. So if patients are doing the search, dental practices near me, and you haven't got a presence or you've not posted on your socials in 6 months, because it does happen, right? The operations comes first, and not everyone has a marketing team or a social media rep. Have them involved, make mistakes. It doesn't matter. And as I said earlier, what gets good views sometimes isn't those polished, edited um, posts. It's actually the ones off the cuff that we might have said something wrong. The lighting might not have been great. Someone might have tripped up, and that's fine. It's just getting it on there. It's free. Um, yeah, and then having fun with it as well. Like we got an FTA. Let's go on TikTok. What's trending? Come on, everyone get involved. Making it part of just the day to day.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really great point as well. I've got an FTA. What can I do to make this a win? From what could be a loss in many people's
Yeah.
books. That's a super tip.
And it
Um,
boosts morale. Like,
yeah,
it's some of them are so funny. Honestly, when we get to do them sometimes, and the amount of times we get it wrong, or there's bloopers or something, like sometimes that's actually the better content is the bloopers when we've just completely messed up, or someone's walked in shot or something like that. It adds to the human element of it.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we know from Hemish and one point of view, one small mistake, that's what gets the comments, that's what gets the likes in a way, and
Hmm.
suddenly, you're going viral, maybe for a bad reason, but actually it turns out to be a good reason in the end.
Yeah, precisely.
Okay, so we talked about getting people onto social media, using the content to your advantage. What
Hmm.
have you found has been good for getting people to take the next step? So getting them to book or call or visit the website. Is it your classic link in bio, or have you found some other ways?
So our marketing team are amazing. We've got quite a big team, so we have we don't have bots. We have humans behind the bookings. So
Mm,
in the digital marketing space, obviously ads work. For us, that's how we predominantly get our majority of our bookings. So we have someone on the other end of WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, web forms from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. And they are replying very quickly. We're in that world now where people want to book in tomorrow, today. They don't want to wait.
mhm.
So we have tried and tested having people on the other end of those platforms, and we're getting the bookings in that way, predominantly from leads, a lot from um, word of mouth as well. And as I mentioned earlier, influencers, that really works. Um, but yeah, 7 days a week, you can contact us on any social media platform from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, and you'll get a reply within, I think our average is about 4 minutes at the moment.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing. And sometimes people can't say the same with phone calls. So it shows the power of like people going to social media, wanting those bookings, and actually you responding just as quick. That's really
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
I
So
think if there's that lag,
mm,
people have a bit of buyer's remorse maybe and change their mind, get distracted, don't get back to you. So we've done a lot of testing, and we see every inquiry as a phone call. It's, hi, I want to book. Okay, what time? And following that from start to finish as quickly as a phone call would be.
exactly. And I've seen some recent stats from a company called Open Room, and they proved that um, buyers are 8 times more likely to buy if they have a response within 5 minutes to their initial inquiry. So, you're living proof that is correct. So that's fantastic.
Absolutely. And I think even as a consumer, when I've inquired about something and not got back to me, I'm like, oh, and also the lead nurturing concept as well, because not everyone is going to be able to reply straight away. People have got children, they're doing things. So we have a system where we nurture those leads. And there are times where we will chase, give them a little nudge. And that really works as well. Um, yeah.
Amazing. So when we talk about metrics for your social media, um, and how that drives patient growth and things like that, what are the metrics that you're tracking? The things that really are important to you?
Followers are great.
Mm.
I think it's really good to see. We've got such a growth journey in terms of following on all of the platforms. Actually, we've just over 90,000 on Instagram alone, which is amazing. Um, so following across all the platforms, TikTok as well is just as I think we've just gone over 30,000 on TikTok. So that's fantastic. Engagement. Um, Some of our videos are getting sort of over 500,000 views now, which is just, if you actually think, you see that as a number and I'm like, right, but when you actually think about that, that's an insane amount of people watching. And I know they're not, and you can go deeper into that, like how long are they watching for? And I think the average is like people watch for the first 7 seconds. You've got to make an impact in that first 7 seconds, clickbait. There's so many ways now that you can edit videos. So something poignant that was said within a 3-minute reel, you put that at the beginning. That's the clickbait. People will watch more. Um, so yeah, so following, um, engagement, and then bookings um from that as well, are the main sort of metrics that day to day I am I am on.
Amazing. Cool. So we're coming to our closing questions now. And I, in the main episodes, I'm always trying to get people to do pleas to the market. But
Yeah,
in this case, I really want to sort of hone in that idea. So if a dentist is listening right now, which we're hoping plenty of dentists are listening right now,
yeah.
um, but we're hoping not many are thinking this. They're saying to themselves, "Well, I don't have time, I don't have budget for this, so I'm not going to do it." What's
Mhm.
the simplest step they can take to blow those misconceptions out of the water?
I would say number one, just don't overthink it. Everyone's got a phone, everyone's got stuff. Like I say, go on TikTok, pick a trending TikTok. Doesn't even need to be dental related. So many trends on there that you can adapt to dental. But yeah, it costs nothing. A little bit of time potentially, but yeah, that's number one. Number two, and this is something that I really live by. If people are talking about you in your marketing, you're doing it right. If someone has an opinion on it, whether it's a good opinion or a bad opinion, your strategy's working. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow because we're people pleasers, right? We want everyone to
Mm,
be saying something positive. Um, but look, every comment is engagement, and that then boosts you on the algorithm, right?
mm.
Um, and number three, I think building a culture where content and marketing is just second nature. Um, and empowering your teams that it's okay to get it wrong, um, is also really, really important.
Yeah, I think your greatest tip for that in this episode has been, you know, changing your mindset from, oh, I've got an FTA, that's a failure, to great, I've got some time to do some content now. Changing failures into wins using social media marketing feels like a slam dunk. So fantastic. They're great tips. So, okay, over to you now. Where can the listeners find all your content in action, get inspiration, experience Tooth Club online and connect with them as well? Where can they find you?
So Instagram, is at Tooth Club UK, the same on TikTok as well. And you can also check out our LinkedIn, which is Tooth Club.
Amazing. Thank you very much. And I do recommend everyone goes on, because if you're listening to this and you're still struggling for inspiration on how you can do things, what you can do, Tooth Club's a really great starting point to see what they're doing, how far they're going, what trends they're jumping on, and start getting that sort of momentum in your own head of, okay, if I see this trend and it's working for TikTok, working on TikTok for Tooth Club, um, I could maybe try that trend, or I could have a go at a different trend that I found. So totally go have a look at TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, all for Tooth Club, and experience it. So Rebekah, thank you very much for joining us. You're an absolute force in marketing in this world. So I'm so pleased to have got you on. Some great tips in here. And hopefully we can get you back on soon to go over what you do in the future.
Thank you so much for having me, Alan. Lots of fun. Thank you.